We live in a world saturated with emotion. Everywhere we turn, there are calls to be kind, to care, to do better. Empathy, once a sacred tool for connection and healing, has now become a mask, worn not out of love or understanding, but out of fear, guilt, and conformity. We live in the age of false empathy, and it is quietly tearing us apart. False empathy isn't real compassion, it's a performance, a surface-level display of care that lacks the courage. It mimics the language of love, but avoids its responsibility. It comforts the victim, but never empowers them. It nods along with dysfunction, so long as it doesn't offend anyone. And it often seeks not to connect, but to control. We see this everywhere. Online outrage mobs claiming to defend justice while destroying nuance. Corporations draping themselves in virtue while exploiting the very people they pretend to support. Influencers publicly grieving strangers while privately chasing algorithms. Families and communities that enable toxic behavior under the banner of support. False empathy is safe because it demands nothing from the giver. No action, no accountability, no sacrifice. Just words, just appearances. But real empathy is not really safe. Real empathy is dangerous because it tells the truth. It is the friend who says, "You're hurting yourself." It is the parent who sets the hard boundary. It is the stranger who speaks uncomfortable wisdom in a room full of polite lies. Real empathy is not about avoiding discomfort. It's about sitting in it, fully present, open-hearted, unafraid to offend in the name of love. It sometimes says, "I care about you too much to stay silent." Real empathy wants people to grow. Real empathy empowers, not pities. Pity does not help anyone. When you are down, do you want people to pity you or to help you get up? I find the false empathy offending to the receiver, often trapping them in the victim role. Real empathy should offer solutions and insights, not just false pity. False empathy, by contrast, is rooted in emotional codependency. It masks guilt as compassion. It rewards fragility and punishes strength. It whispers, "You're perfect just the way you are," even as someone spirals into self-destruction. It confuses pity with love and keeps people stuck. And here's where the damage becomes clear. In a society addicted to comfort, false empathy becomes the dominant language. Truth becomes taboo. Boundaries are labeled as cruelty. We begin to silence those who speak plainly because honesty sounds harsh to people raised on emotional sugar. On a deeper level, false empathy is often a projection of unhealed wounds. People who haven't dealt with their own pain try to fix others instead. It looks like compassion, but it is often guilt, or fear, or ego needing to feel righteous. This is what the spiritual teacher Anthony de Mello meant when he said, "People don't really want to be cured. What they want is relief. Cure is painful. What they want is to have their good old self back, their attachments, their addictions, their little toys. They want their hearts to be in the right place, but they don't want to give up the things that are in their hearts. They want resurrection, but they don't want to die." That quote is a knife, and it cuts deep, because healing requires death, the death of illusion, of comfort, of ego. But most people just want their suffering managed, not transformed. They don't want to awaken, they want sedation with a spiritual flavor. False empathy plays directly into that. It says, you don't need to change, you just need to be accepted. And while acceptance is part of healing, without accountability, it becomes a trap, a velvet cage. Real empathy does not trap, it frees. It sees the divine potential in someone and refuses to let them betray it. If we want to reclaim our humanity, we must reclaim empathy, not as performance, but as a practice. Not as something we show, but something we live, rooted in truth, bound by love, held in courage. Empathy should not make us weak. It should make us strong. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me what you think about empathy, and how are you empathetic to other people? How are you empathetic without making other people feel weak? If you do like this video, please do consider subscribing and like the video, and I will see you next time. Love you all. Bye bye.